how's it going? Back today. Sorry, it was a little bit of a break. We had some stuff come up, some family sickness in the house, and some traveling to do and stuff like that. So back on it again. So today we're going to be talking about Far Cry 6, or if you want a better, I got the steel case, Far Cry 6 with who is that? Chaviso? I can't remember. Get the little animals. They're the little companions in the game. So we're going to be talking about that. I just finished my playthrough. Game came out a few weeks ago. If I can pull up the date real quick. Far Cry 6 release date. So it came out October 7th. Wow, it actually took me a little bit to beat it. It took about a month and a week, give or take. It's between traveling and class and all this other stuff. So I finally finished it, and I'm here today to give my review. So just like all my other review things, we'll be going through initial, like no spoilers, just pure whatever, and then we'll get into spoilers. Because frankly, I can judge a lot of this without getting into the story too much. So right off the bat, the game is pretty, it's pretty. Like, it's good to look at. They did a pretty good job with the graphics. That's about it, in my opinion. It had like a promising villain. They got I can't remember his name at the moment, but he's a good actor. He's bad guys in some things. Actually, don't know if he's really a good guy in anything. Even in Once Upon a Time, when he plays the Magic Mirror, I don't even know if you can really consider that a good guy role per se. So we're going to be talking about that. I really felt like this game came up short. I'm a big fan of the Far Cry series. I've played all of them. I haven't beat all of them. When I got around to playing the first one, it was so old. It was kind of like hard to get into. But I played it for a good little bit. I played the second one for a good bit. And then, so my first intro to the series was Far Cry 4 back in 2015. I was in training at the time. I just bought my first Xbox. It was an Xbox One, and Far Cry 4 was like one of the big games that everybody was playing and stuff, so I bought it, and I fell in love with the franchise from that one game. And then Primal came out, and I loved Primal. I know a lot of people weren't a huge fan of it for various reasons. I thought it was legit. I was like running around throwing spears at people and doing all kinds of craziness. Other people didn't like those. So from there, I've played every Far Cry game. I even went back and played the older ones, like I just said. So I played 3. I think Blood Dragon's the only one I haven't played all the way or anything like that. So my bad, I haven't played all of them because I still need to get around to Blood Dragon. I do own it though. I will get to it. So I've played a lot. The whole point of that was I have a lot of Far Cry experience. I've played a lot of the games, basically all of them, but whatever. Tomato, tomato. So when I say this game was a disappointment because the past games were better, some people say that a lot regardless because people hold 3 and like this pedestal like way up here, and I thought it was fun. I thought the villain was severely overrated in my opinion. Like I thought 3 in general was overrated. I did enjoy it. It was very good, but I thought it was overrated because I think people blow out of proportion the villain. But that ultimately is what makes Far Cry games so good. It's like they are great at the open world. You can go around to upgrade all kinds of different things, but their villains is really what cements what that game is, in my opinion. So 3, obviously you got the cover, you got that guy sitting on the beach and looks intimidating, and then throughout the course of the game, he's constantly antagonizing you, doing this and that, and all kinds of craziness. It's great. And then you get to 4, basically the same thing. You're in a foreign country, this huge dictator dude is just going around wasting people. And then Far Cry 5, you get the extremist religious group, and he's intimidating and scary and presented in such a manner that's like very unsettling compared to the other villains, in my opinion. I was like, oh, this Joseph guy, he's pretty crazy. Like he firmly believes in what he's doing, and he doesn't care at all what's happening around him. Like his kids are dying left and right because obviously those are the sub bosses, and this dude's just like, yeah, it's God's will and all this other stuff, and it's crazy. Even, well, okay, I didn't care for New Dawn's villains too much. They were kind of like whatever for me. New Dawn, I played mostly for the gameplay because they took such a drastic change, and they were like, yeah, if you want to upgrade yourself, you got to upgrade your base. And I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. I played Mad Max, and I got that for a budget game. It was like I walked into GameStop, and it was like $20 brand new. So I was like, oh, why not? Mad Max seems cool. So I bought it. And like I said, New Dawn had a very similar like build style to that. It's like you want to get better weapons, you want to upgrade your armor, your vehicles, all this other garbage. You got to go and upgrade your fort first, and that'll unlock the ability to upgrade all your other things. And I was like, that's awesome. That's really cool. That's what I liked about Mad Max. That's what engaged me so much because like I have a completionist mentality. So I was like, well, I need to upgrade my fort to the maximum time now so I can get some really cool gear. And that's pretty much what I did and what I set my goals on. Because I like having a um, I like having an attainable grind, like things like Destiny and the New Borderlands, where you have to grind hours and hours and hours and hours and hours to maybe get a weapon with the right stat. That's not for me. If I have an achievable goal that I can grind to, that's what I'm into. And they tried to replicate that a bit in 6, and the way they executed it just fell flat in my opinion. So what you do is you go out and you capture these resources. Talking again about 6 right now. I know I'm kind of bouncing around a lot, but now we're back on 6. So like a core aspect of the game is that kind of upgrade functionality that I was talking about with New Dawn and Mad Max. They tried to replicate that in this, and it just didn't really land for me. So the issue is there's only 3 levels. You build your initial like hut, and then you upgrade it 2 or 3 times, and then that's it. You never touch it again. So by the time I like ended the game, I had like 100 times what the max upgrade was for each of those huts. And I was like, wow, I did that so fast. And it's like, okay, it wasn't even like a grind or anything. You don't have to get special materials to get that max tier. And that's something I felt was missing in the previous Far Cry games, like Far Cry 5. I thought that was missing in it. Far Cry 3 and 4, you can like get upgrades for your ammo pouches and all this other stuff. But if you want to max it out, you have to find a legendary animal. You have to go kill it. You have to get its skin and all that, and then you have to turn it in, and that's your final upgrade. They did something similar in this one, where you have to go out and hunt those special animals, but all it does is give you a uniform, and the uniform bonus isn't really that good. It's just kind of like, whatever. So I wasn't a huge fan of that. So overall, that little system that they tried to replicate in this game, I just wasn't a fan of. There's no skill tree. There's no promotion points. The skill tree was really awesome in 4 and all that stuff. And then for 5, they took it in a bit of a different approach where you had promotion tokens. You had to go out and find them or you earn them or whatever. And that's how you built up your character. In this, you can kind of just do things. And that bothered me because if I just start off the bat with all these abilities, the least you can do is give me some kind of like more thorough tutorial almost to explain to me that I have these abilities. I can't tell you how far I got in the game before I realized I could just jump on somebody and execute him. Like you can just do that from the rip of the game, and that was missing, and I didn't really care for that. I was like, well, if I like, because like I said, they took away the skill tree. There's no promotion system or anything like that. The closest they got was that little fort upgrade thing, and that it does things for you, but not that many. Like I didn't have a hard time prioritizing which ones I wanted to do, to like get my game off to a good start. Um, so that really disappointed me a lot. And then the other major thing that really disappointed me was there's no kind of tracking system in this game for your progression. So if you think back to Far Cry, I think even 3 had it. 3, I know for a fact 4 had it, and I'm pretty sure 5 had it as well, where you can track like there's a whole sub menu or like I guess like a menu within your your start screen or whatever. You push start, you get all the pause menu and all that. So there's a whole menu in there of just progress, and it tracks everything. It tracks all your main story missions. It checks your missions for your factions, your missions for your I want to say it was like your upgrades and all your different missions, all your different bounties or treasures or anything you can think of. There was a tracker for it, and that's completely missing in this game. And as a completionist, I was really upset because I was like, well, if you're just gonna spawn these Libertad is what they're called, the Libertad crates and the FND crates, and you're just going to drop them all over the map, and I have no kind of tracking system. I could think I got all the chests, move on to the next area, free like one of the gorillas, and all of a sudden 10 chests pop up in that previous area, and now I have to go back to that area again. I found that super frustrating. Just wasn't a fan of that. I wish they would have put in some kind of progression tracker, or I forget what the technical term for it is, but I want to say it was progression tracker, and that was missing, and that really bothered me a lot because I'm a big fan of those like tracker things. Because like I said, again, if I have those achievable goals that I can set early, I'm more inclined to try to 100% the game. That's something I thought. I don't know why they did that either, because not Far Cry, Assassin's Creed Valhalla. I'm playing through that as well, and every single section you go to, there's a little menu in the bottom, and it tells you all the different findable, collectible things, and tells you how many there are. It doesn't tell you where they are, obviously. Like, I don't need that. I need you to tell me how many there are, so I'm not wasting time looking for stuff. So that really bothered me a lot. And once I got towards the end of the game, I realized that one of the cryptographic chests, I believe it's cryptographic, basically you have to walk up to this chest, it'll have two pictures on it, and it'll point in a direction. And you have to go and just find these two posters, and you have to bring these posters back to the chest, and you get a secret item. Well, I had completed one of those chests early on, however, it never gave me the item. So here I am trying to collect everything I can, collect all the clothing and all the weapons, and I'm never going to because one of the chest exclusive items never spawned in my inventory. I was so frustrated, so frustrated. I didn't realize it until I had gotten all the cryptographic chests unlocked, and that one item was missing. I was so frustrated. And then, since we're on the topic, one of the guns, it's supposed to be, it's okay. So the guns are rated on a star system, like New Dawn. So you have 1 star, 2 star, 3 star, and 4 star. And the 4 star pistol, there's two of them. There's a Desert Eagle, which is very attainable early on. You could go from the first area, hop in a boat or whatever, go to like the area where you get the Desert Eagle, solve the little puzzle, and you got the Desert Eagle. Like, you do that right off the rip. But the other one is the P226, I believe, and you don't get that until the second to last mission of the entire game. So like you have to go through the entire story arc to get to that second to last mission just for a pistol. And it's not that great, honestly. Like, it's okay. I found that super frustrating because, again, if I have those attainable goals and I can collect all the items, I would be more inclined to do so. And I just thought that was super frustrating. And then the actual gameplay itself is pretty easy. Like, I thought Far Cry 5 was easy because helicopter was chasing me. I could just pull out my sniper, boom, got him. Far Cry 6, like, they give you so much, and it's supposed to be fun. Yeah, it's cool, but like, it was just too easy. Like, I had anything coming at me. They give you like a super backpack, and it shoots all kinds of crazy stuff out. You can put all kinds of different upgrades in it. Like, there's one that like you inject roids or something. You pull out a machete and you're just running around chopping people. It's crazy. But the one I stuck with is just like a rocket launcher. Someone comes at me, I just hit the button and I'm shooting rockets out of my back, and it's blowing people up. It's great. So I was like, you couldn't do something more? Like I don't know. Like, I barely saw any tanks. There's tanks running all over the island, and I barely saw any, so it was no challenge from that. It got to the point where I realized that the game is almost designed for you just to use armor-piercing rounds. Like, you have the option to pick like 4 or 5 different kinds of rounds, and the game is basically like armor-piercing or bust. And it's like, okay, I guess I'm using armor-piercing because nothing else does anything. And then it just makes the game easier. So it's like, make it super hard for yourself, or it's a little too easy. And so I thought that was really frustrating as well. So overall, just based on that and not even getting really into the story, I'd give it like a CB grade, because like, it falls short to a lot of the other Far Cry games. And the only way I would really recommend this to you is if you're a longtime fan, you've played all the other ones, and you just want to play this one for the story and or gameplay. Because I mean, the gameplay is very fun. Like, if it wasn't fun, I would have dropped it. But it's missing a lot of those elements that make the older Far Cry games really good in what they are. And I'll stand by that. Like, I really think they really dropped the ball in this one. I had a lot of glitches, like I mentioned with the cryptographic chest. It just never gave me my item. I had escort missions where there would be like a slight bump in the road, and the NPC would get stuck legitimately for like 2 minutes. I almost timed it because I was like, what is going on? And then there would be some times where I would have to, there's a mission where you have to get in the tank, and I couldn't get in the tank because I couldn't repair it. It just wouldn't give me the options. I was like crawling, like trying to get under it, trying to get beside it, trying to get on top of it, and I ended up having to kill myself, respawn at the checkpoint, and then it was working just fine. Like, there's been all kinds of those little bugs, and this is a month after the game came out that I started having these like issues still. So it's not like a day one cyberpunk crazy crashes and glitches all over the place. No, this is a month after. They've already dropped their huge patch that they do about, was it 2 weeks after the game came out? And I'm still getting these issues. I was like, what the heck? Like, what? Why? Like, just let me play the game. Let me enjoy these missions. But I'm getting glitches all the time about just these little things. Like I've had to. There was one check. Like so, when you walk into a checkpoint, you can just kill everybody, and then you overtake the checkpoint. I had to replay that mission or that checkpoint like 4 times because it wasn't spawning and it wasn't giving me the key. Like I wasn't. It just wasn't doing what it was supposed to do, and it was super frustrating. And there's all kinds of like those little things all over the place, and it's not like game breaking, like you're gonna crash out of the game, but it's frustrating. Like you want to play the game, it's a single player game or co-op, I guess, if you want to. And I'm getting these glitches where I have to either restart the game or just like quit for the night because I can't even progress. And then I come back to it later, and it may or may not be fixed. And it's frustrating. So yeah, I leave it at like somewhere in limbo between that C and B grade because like it is a good looking game. The gameplay is fun, but it's missing a lot of those just Far Cry elements that I was looking forward to. Because Far Cry 5 came out, what, 2019, I think? No, that's very wrong. 2017, 2018? Somewhere around there. So it's been a good minute, and then it just doesn't feel like they spend as much time on this, even as much as like Valhalla or something, or like one of the Assassin's Creed games that they've been pushing out recently. They have these huge, extensive skill trees and all these like little. I'm stuck on that, the little progression meter because it's so good. Like I don't want all that like gear rating bumping me up to levels and all that. I don't want that. I want the skill tree, and I want the old things that made Far Cry good. Oh, and since I'm on the topic, because I forgot to cover the amigos, I hate them. I hate the amigos. I don't use them for anything. More times than not, they're getting in the way while I'm trying to shoot somebody, and I shoot my amigo, and they get all like animal mad at me, and I'm just like, yo, dude, just get out of the way. Like Far Cry 5 had a really good system where you could take two human companions, and they're running around doing different stuff. They give you bonuses for existing, and then these guys, you have to grind for their abilities, and their abilities, a lot of them aren't even that good. Like even the DLC ones you start with, if you got the golden edition like I did, oh, that's the other thing. The clothing is like kind of sucky. Like I got the DLC ones, and usually the DLC ones are like, yeah, this is good for like the first 2 levels, and then you got to swap it out because it's not that good. It's not supposed to be that good. I didn't change off the DLC gear because it was just better than everything else, and I was like, well, that's a little too easy. They're just giving me the good stuff right off the rip. It's like whatever. The weapons did suck though, in fairness, or at least I thought so. But yeah, the amigos, they're just like trash. Like none of them are very good. Like they downgraded from 2 amigos, like who were human companions that gave you different bonuses, to one animal that's like kind of okay. And it was just whatever. Again, I had a lot of issues with the game. The more I talk about it, the more I'm like, I think I'd rather go play 5 or 4 or 3 even, or maybe I'll give 2 and 1 a better chance, like, and go back and play those ones, or maybe even Blood Dragon. Like it just doesn't give me the Far Cry things I want from a Far Cry. So I've been going for a long time. My bad. So we're gonna move on to the spoilers. So, spoiler alert. Don't keep watching if you don't want to be spoiled. So, the villain, you don't really see him a lot in the story, and when you do, he's not that intimidating. And then you find out he has like very, very onset leukemia, and he's like, okay, well, he's just a sick dude trying to groom his son. It's not very scary. And it was such a wasted talent because it was such a good actor, and then they just never did anything with his villain, his style. Like he just doesn't do anything that is like insane like the previous villains from the other games do. Like I don't know, the ending of 5 is like so crazy, and then the ending of this one is like, yep, Cube is free. Congrats. Like, and like nobody, like, it's just so almost anticlimactic with how it finishes. Um, and what happens is you finally storm the Capitol, you get in there, and the dude shoots his son and then slits his own throat, and then that's the end of the game for basically. You get through some cutscenes, and ultimately your character decides not to rule, and he just lets other people do it. Yeah, oh, that's the other thing. There's no endings, like multiple endings. So you play any of the Far Cry games, and for the most part, there's multiple endings. Like Far Cry 4, you can just choose not to move, and you get an ending right there. Boom, achievement unlocked. You get, whatever. You don't join any kind of rebellion or anything. Far Cry 5, you get the ending where you get three endings. You get the one at the beginning, you get two at the end, and all this other stuff. This one, it's like you get one choice, I think, and it's not even like that choice really matters. I don't know. So like ultimately, I think the villain, in large part, with combined with those other elements from the gameplay, it just really killed it for me. I just didn't. I wasn't a huge fan. I just didn't care for it. Now, like I said, the gameplay is fun, but I don't think that's enough to bring me back to the game. I don't know. I don't think I ever will play it again. Like I will. Like I wanted to play Far Cry 5 again as soon as I beat it. Like I started up a new game and I just was right into it. And I just don't feel that way about this one. I don't feel like I should be talking my dad into getting this game so I can play co-op with him, or my little brother. I'd be like, "Yo, you want to get 4 or 5, and then we can play that one because that one was just a lot better." So that's kind of where I'm sitting with this. Like I said, somewhere between that B and C kind of realm because I feel like they dropped the ball on a lot of things, and those things are a big deal, and I really feel that way. So yeah, next video should be coming out hopefully this week if I have some more time. I'm going to be covering the Eternals. I saw that opening night and just been busy and frankly didn't care about the movie enough to drop a review on it because, spoiler alert, I didn't like it. But we'll get to that eventually, and I'm very hyped about the new Spider-Man movie coming out. I've been rewatching those, so I've got the 1, 2, and 3 of Sam Raimi's Spider-Man. I've watched those. I'm really hyped. Gonna start watching Andrew Garfield's Amazing Spider-Man pretty soon. 1 and 2, obviously, and then leading up to No Way Home, I'll probably rewatch Homecoming and Far From Home. And then if Venom 2 is out on DVD, maybe. We'll see. But yeah, probably not on that one actually. Never mind. So, gonna be keeping an eye out for some content on. I know we got some recent trailer drops. We got Morbius, trailer 2 now, 2 or 3, and maybe I'll do something. No, I won't do anything on Spider-Man. Not until the movie, just because I don't want to get into the realm of spoilers. Because I've been reading a lot, a lot of spoilers. So yeah, next video will probably be Eternals, and we'll catch you next time. See ya.